Basically, today, we're gonna discuss why I personally believe that print on demand is the next billion peso business idea here in the Philippines. You might be wondering, of course, what exactly is print on demand? This might be the first time you've ever heard of this term. Before I discuss why this is the next billion peso opportunity, let's first discuss muna what exactly is print on demand, or POD for short. Print on demand, it's basically wherein things are only produced or printed when somebody has already ordered the item, or pag meron ng demand. Essentially, the name itself, print on demand, things are only printed when there is demand. Parang short way of describing that. In a nutshell, that's what print on demand is. Okay, how does this work practically? How does this work on a parang step-by-step level? Let's imagine you wanted to create your own clothing business, merch business, wanted to sell t-shirts like this or something, your own design or whatever. How would it work no? Traditionally, if you were going to launch your own clothing business, merch business, what you would do is you'd find a supplier, your local print shop who does, I don't know, maybe different types of printing. They could, or it's possible na sila na yung magsusupply ng shirt, but it's also possible that you get shirts from outside and then you give it to them for printing. But for the sake of this example, let's just say na you will find basically a supplier out there kung saan sila na bahala sa t-shirt, sa printing, packaging, etc. etc. So the biggest problem that you will face when starting out a clothing brand or a clothing business is what we call MOQs, or minimum order quantity. So minimum order quantities, essentially sabihin yan is you can only order from them, or you can only get them to manufacture or produce your design if you hit that minimum order quantity or that MOQ. No? Usually, this is around 30 pieces to 50 pieces on average, pero it can go as high as 100, 200, 500 depending on the customization or the type of garment that you want produced. No? If it's a simple print on a blank t-shirt, that can go as low as 30 pieces, sometimes 50. But if you want to get the shirt made from scratch with your own customization, own cut, own silhouette, then the MOQ start getting a lot higher, honestly. Minsan umabot yan 100 to 200 pieces per shirt, per custom shirt that you want to make. No, so of course, would-be entrepreneur, would-be clothing business owner, medyo problematic sa itong MOQ, no? Kasi ang mangyayari dyan is, hindi ka pa nagsisimula, you already have to spend maybe 30,000 to 50,000 of your own money just on inventory. And you have to take note that you're not even sure if people will buy this inventory or people will buy your design. Because it's very much possible na you'll be limited with the amount of designs that you can launch with dahil nga sa minimum order quantity. So sabihin natin you start off with 5. A lot of people actually start with less than that. But we recommend, honestly, to give you a strong chance, being able to have a good chance of success, no, you need at least like 20 or 30 designs at the very least. Pero let's say, for the sake of this example, 5 designs ang papagawa mo. At 30 pieces minimum order quantity for each, that's already 150 shirts total. So sabihin natin, average cost of a shirt is probably gonna be 280 to 300. Sabihin natin 300, para mabilis i-compute. So that's what, 45,000? Basically, ganun, you'd have to spend 45,000 just to launch. Hindi mo pa alam kung anong size, anong colors yung mabenta. Now, with print on demand, the beauty of print on demand is you kind of are able to flip the script on that and turn it around. And instead of you make the products first and then you sell it, you start selling it and then that's the only time that you bake it. No? Here's a quick explainer graphic on how that works. For example, once you set up your print on demand store, your website, you put mock-ups on your store. So mock-ups are basically what that design would look like once it's printed on a shirt. You put that on your website, and then of course a customer orders from that website. That order goes to the print on demand provider. The print on demand provider then prints it, packs it, and ships it all the way to your end customer, or the customer who bought from your store. Then once that has been delivered, payment is made by the customer, and then the POD provider basically takes the cost of the shirt from the payment of the customer. So essentially, if you're the seller, you're the brand owner, you basically have virtually zero inventory risk. That's kind of like the biggest beauty and the biggest hack of print on demand. There's a lot of second order effects actually of not needing any inventory. For one, your cash flow is a lot better, because you don't have to reinvest it in new stock. You let the print-on-demand provider invest in getting more stock, getting more inventory, getting more of those blank shirts. That's one big advantage. Second big advantage, you can start with an unlimited number of designs. Traditionally, isipin mo, if the people starting out using the traditional manufacturing, they'd probably start out with maybe 3, maybe 5 designs, kasi nga, not everybody has the budget to go and do a lot of designs. So you, on the other hand, as a clothing entrepreneur that utilizes print-on-demand, you can start off with 1,000 designs, honestly. I've seen people do this repeatedly. They start off with, although majority of the time, kasi medyo mahirap din naman gumawa ng designs, you start off with maybe 20 to 30, sometimes it can go as high as 50. It really depends on how much work and how much effort you're willing to put in creating these designs. In a very quick nutshell, that is what print on demand is, and that is why it's advantageous. But the big question is, why do I believe that now is the perfect time to kind of start print on demand or start a print on demand business here specifically in the Philippine market. Print on demand, it has been existing for quite some time already in Western markets. The US, Europe, Australia, print on demand is pretty prevalent already. Here in the Philippines, here in Southeast Asia, I don't think there is even print on demand providers except of course for Mod Factory. So MOD, quick plug there of my company, my startup. So this is what I'm doing. Why is now the best time to start a print on demand business? No? Why do I believe that this is the next billion peso opportunity? So the first one is AI. Everybody has heard of the power of AI with ChatGPT. It's even built in with sa Facebook Messenger. You can already talk to Meta's AI and a lot of other AI tools. And of course, nakita na rin natin sa mga social media feeds natin all these AI images. Dami naging trends of people creating, using AI, using this technology to create new, interesting, fun images. With this technology, AI has basically given entrepreneurs superpowers to quickly create designs, branding elements, websites, all using the power of AI. And you know what's the amazing thing about that? Is these AI tools are only gonna get better. During this time, these are the worst they will ever be. We are at a point where all these AI tools are getting so much better, so much faster, and we can of course utilize this to create brands, create designs at a much cheaper way. Dati kasi, sabihin natin, if you were to do print on demand pre-AI, you'd have to, number one, either have your own design skills or number two, hire a graphic artist, which of course gives you, parang nagkakaroon na ba ng additional friction or additional roadblock to actually getting started, actually creating design. So ngayon, with the power of AI, essentially your imagination is the limit, and how creative or resourceful you are, that's the only limit. The second big reason why I believe print on demand is going to be the next billion peso business opportunity in the Philippines, because Philippine e-commerce is exploding. Now we've seen this was accelerated greatly by the pandemic. We see more and more people going online, creating a Shopee account, a Lazada account, being able to trust Shopify websites a lot more. As more and more people start buying online, the bigger the market gets and the more people that you can essentially sell to. So the Philippine e-commerce market is honestly exploding. There's a ton of research by reputable companies like Google, Temasek, the Boston Consulting Group that show that by 13.78% year on year, and it's projected to be a 53 billion US dollar market by 2030. So what does that mean? So sabihin the market size is 53 billion US dollars. So that's what, like 2-3 trillion Philippine pesos, 2.5 trillion Philippine pesos. Imagine if you can just get a small tiny percent of that, you'd already be rich. You'd already have more money than you can imagine. So that's another reason why today really is the best time to start an e-commerce business here in the Philippines, and to do that using a print-on-demand type of business model. The last reason why I believe that print-on-demand is the next big thing is because there are infinite design possibilities when it comes to creating your e-commerce brand or your print-on-demand brand. There are an infinite number of niches, there are an infinite number of designs, infinite number of aesthetics that you can choose from. This is where it differs from businesses like dropshipping, where you're basically limited to what other people are selling. So the problem here is you're selling, for example, I actually started kind of in the dropshipping space, an omelet maker, but literally every other dropshipper is also selling the same exact omelet maker. It's very hard to differentiate. It's very hard to kind of stand out in a very saturated market like this. Unlike with print on demand, where automatically if my design, for example, I'm selling this shirt, but my design is really awesome, people really like my design, then people will buy it. Doesn't matter if somebody else sells another shirt but with a different design, they're not going to be the same. If I wanted, for example, a Stussy shirt, I can't buy a High Mind shirts as a replacement, even if they were of the same product. A good example of this is concert merch. Most concert merch, they use the same blanks. Gildan, Fruit of the Loom, a lot of these blanks are used for concert merch. But if I have a Gildan shirt printed with, for example, sabihin natin Taylor Swift designs, and then I have another Gildan shirt for Tyler the Creator's merch, I can't just buy a Taylor Swift shirt. If I wanted a Taylor Swift shirt, I can't just buy a Tyler the Creator shirt because they're not going to be the same. So that's the beauty of print on demand. You just have to find that unique niche or unique space where you're kind of the expert, where you have a lot of interest in, and find and create designs that people will actually want to buy or people will actually want to wear. And that's kind of like the beauty of it. Because honestly, I feel like that's another advantage of print on demand though. It's a type of business that you can really make money and really be successful as long as you're willing to work hard. As long as you're willing to put in the effort. How does that effort translate? You just make more designs. If people aren't buying your products, just keep making more designs. Eventually, you'll be able to find the right designs that people will actually want to buy or people actually resonate. I've laid out the reasons, the data, why I believe print on demand is going to be the next big thing. So if you're interested in creating your own print on demand store, please do check out Mod Factory, so MOD. We are the leading print on demand providers here in the Philippines. We have taken all our knowledge to e-commerce also, and we teach this to our clients, to people who want to create a print on demand store with us.